7:16 this morning, and Watch Fox celebrates Black History Month with a look at a civil rights case that made its way to the United States Supreme Court and it stemmed from right here in Columbia. Our Fraendy Clervaud is live now at Zion Baptist Church in Columbia with more. Fraendy?
Well, Janet, the case was a result of a march that started right here on the steps of Zion Baptist Church right here in downtown Columbia 52 years ago. We can tell you that after the march, several of the students were jailed and they took their case to the United States Supreme Court. Now, I had the opportunity to speak to one of the students who was involved in the march, who's now representing us, South Carolina, in Washington.
In fact, I sat on the front row here just behind me. Along with my roommate, Clarence, Missouri.
Congressman Jim Clyburn remembers the morning of March the 2nd, 1961. He and other students from across the Midlands, including now Chief Justice Gene Toole, willing to risk their lives for the sake of freedom. They all gathered here at Zion Baptist Church, getting ready to make their voices heard.
South Carolina and a lot of other southern states decided to try a new approach, and they passed some new laws called breach of the peace. And of course, we decided that we were coming to Columbia to test that new law.
The congressman saying the law, among other things, hindered African Americans to protest publicly about the unfair treatment and the effects of segregation that was felt throughout the South. The then 21-year-old was just one of the students selected to help lead the march. They marched from the front steps of the church all the way to the State House. Within hours, they were arrested, spending days in jail.
We planned what we were going to do. We knew we were going to get arrested. And we felt, and always said, that all I got to do is get my case to the United States Supreme Court. Because of the decision that had been issued in 1954 in Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, we just knew that we would be vindicated.
According to court documents, 187 protesters were convicted of breach of the peace. Law enforcement officials testified that the protests started to attract the attention of hundreds of people, which resulted in a traffic situation. Police then went to the leader of the group, James Edwards, and demanded the protests end. But instead, the protesters began to sing "I Shall Not Be Moved," along with other religious songs, all while shouting and clapping. This was dubbed inappropriate and was found to be a noisy demonstration.
We were challenging a system that needed to be challenged.
The group appealed to the United States Supreme Court with the help of Columbia native, the late Judge Matthew Perry. The case, now called Edwards versus South Carolina, went before the court in December of 1962. A final decision was made in February of 1963, based on the First and 14th Amendment. The U.S. Supreme Court found South Carolina infringed upon the group's right to free speech and overturned their convictions. But even though the arrests were cleared, Congressman Clyburn says it's a part of who he is.
I will always wear those arrests as a badge of honor.
Dr. Bobby Donaldson is a professor of history at the University of South Carolina.
Well, that case was a legal precedent. In many other communities across the South, including Birmingham and Montgomery, they were able to use that case to justify sit-ins and public protest without fear of being arrested.
Celebrating Black history, Fraendy Clervaud, Watch Fox News.